This video, in continuation to our previous video, will talk about Python data types. What is the Python data types? In programming, data type is very important concept. Data type inform a state whatever the type of the data is. It's integer, it's a string, it's a float, it's a character, it's a byte, it's a, for example, boolean, whatever type. Which type is stored in this variable? That's data type. Variable can store data of different types, and different types can do different things. For example, Python have the following built-in by default. They are already built in. We cannot, for example, they are not user defined, they are system defined. For text, we have string data type. For numeric, we have integer, float, and complex. For sequence, we have list, tuple, range. For mapping, we have dict, we have dict or dictionary type. For set types, we have set and frozen set. For boolean type, we have bool. For binary type, we have bytes. For non type, we have none. But the most important types are boolean, the numeric, and text type. These are the most important data type we have. So data type, whatever the type of it. Given the data type, whatever the type of our data is, the type functionality is used. For example, if x is equal to 5.6, then print, we say whatever the type of x is, x type. So x will be in this type class floating type, because we say we do not define whatever type it is, but whatever is stored by default it will be. For example, if x is hello world, it will be string type. If it is 20, it will be integer. At 20.5, it will be, we say, for example, float. If the j is, for example, IU type value, it will be, for example, a complex value. These are sets or range, something like that. For example, the following good example will print data type of x, whatever the type of x is. So in this type, the class will be integer, because x is 5 is a whole number, so that's why the type will be integer. After that, we are talking about Python numbers. There are three numeric types in Python: integer, float, and complex. For whole numbers, for Zillion numbers, we use integers. For example, x is equal to 1, that's integer. 2.8, that's, we say, floating number, and 1j, that's a complex number. For example, if we say x is equal to 5, y is equal to 2.8 or 2.4, and z is equal to 5j, then we say we print print type of what? Type of x, print type of y, and print type of z or z. So in this type, the type will be integer, complex, and float. Second is float. Integer, int or integer is a whole number. It can be positive, negative, but without decimal, of unlimited let. In this type, unlimited let, for example, in C++, Java, the length or range was defined. For example, x, these are all negative, positive, unlimited length. These are called as integer or whole number. If type of all of these types, for example, if I that's all integer plus. Float, we say that floating point number, negative, positive, but with decimal point. 1.0, 1 point that, these are all floating numbers. They can be negative, positive, but will have a decimal point of unlimited range. Float can be also written with scientific form. For example, scientific of e. If x is equal to minus 67.35 e at the power of 12, mean at the power of 12, multiply 10 at the power of 12. So if I print it right here with the type of what? X, that will be what? This is a floating number. Floating number can also be written with e, capital or small letter. E mean at the power of. Complex number are written with the j as imaginary part, because it has a real part and an imaginary part. The real part is written as it is, and the imaginary part is written as a j. For example, 3 plus 5j, mean 3 is the real number, and 5j, that's the imaginary part of it. 5j, just these are the imaginary part. Imaginary part can be positive or negative, but with j. J stands for imaginary part notation. We can convert one type with another type with type conversion. For example, x is 1, 2.8. If we want to, for example, convert it, so a is equal to float of x. Now we say that the x value, whatever the x value 1, that will be converted into 1.0. b int of y, that will be 2.2, just 2. 0.8 will be subtotal.